there are so many things to distract your students while they're at home. And your tiny little face on their tiny screen is like the least interesting thing to them. So, today on Teaching from Home, we are going to learn 3 methods that will help you keep your students' engagement. First, you're going to learn how to have them find objects in their home that will help to illustrate something from the class. Second, you're going to use breakout rooms for quick group work. And third, you're going to ask your students about what they care about. 1. Ask your students to go find something in their house that illustrates a vocabulary word that you guys are covering in your class. For example, you might give your students the word urbanization, and they might go and come back with a bunch of little toy guys. And they move them around, they play with them, and they tell you the urbanization is the movement of people to one area. 2. Breakout rooms. Several of the video conference services now offer this as a feature. If you have it as a feature, use it and use it well. So, what you need to do is keep your groups small, your instructions clear and specific, and a tight time frame. For example, you might put your students into groups of 3 or 4, and then give them a task like, what are the 5 most important elements of a city? Rank them by importance and say why each one is important. You have 7 minutes to accomplish this. Now go. 3. Remind your students that you care about them. Of course you do, but they don't always know that, so it's good to take the time to remind them of this. You can do this by asking them about what is important to them. You can make this specific, like, hey, what kind of YouTubers you've been watching recently, or Instagram accounts to follow, or sometimes leave it a little more general. Just tell me what's going on in your life right now. This does 2 very important things. 1, they will care more about your lessons because they know that you care about them. And it allows you to integrate more things that they care about into your lesson, therefore making it more relevant to them. Okay, so now it is time to recap with story time. Susie was a very successful 7th grade social studies teacher. When she had her students in her class, they were always highly engaged in the topics they were studying. But now that she's teaching from home, Susie feels like her students are more engaged with the paint color on their desk than with her class. So, Susie, it is now time to re-engage. She takes these 3 points and applies them to her next lesson. Right now, they're in the middle of a chapter on immigration. So she starts off her class by giving her students 1 minute to go find something in their house that illustrates one of the 7 vocabulary words. They scramble, they go, they run, they bring back crazy and funny things. Some of them seem to make sense, some of them don't, but all of them are engaged in their vocabulary words. Next, Susie breaks her students up into groups of 3 to 4 and assigns them to different breakout rooms. In their breakout rooms, they have 10 minutes to create an advertisement for their assigned country to convince people why they should come and immigrate to that country. They have to use at least 3 points in their illustration. And finally, Susie ends her class with a nice chat time. This time, she asks her students what kind of music have they been listening to. She says that she's trying to look for things to add to her playlist and is just curious about what they care about. The students really appreciate the bonding time with their teacher. So how do you put this into practice? Think about one of your upcoming lessons. Could you integrate one or more of these methods into that lesson? Probably so. Go ahead and write it up and then reach out to one of your colleagues. Bounce the ideas off of them, get some feedback, and then, if they're willing, have them observe your class, either live or recorded. Ask them for feedback and get even better at it next time. Keep growing. So to recap, first, have students go and find objects in their house that connect to the lesson. 2, use breakout rooms for quick group work. And 3, ask the students what they care about. Use these methods to help re-engage your students.